pursuit on the wire. Mongolian win takes the 72nd running of the Manitoba Derby. And welcome everybody to a special edition of ASD Live. It's Breeders' Cup time at Keeneland. And we have the juveniles on Friday night, followed up by the older horses on Saturday. That'll make up the 14 Breeders' Cup races stretch. This is one of my most exciting times of the year when my neighbors think I'm absolutely crazy. I always say that all the time, but a lot of screaming goes on, a lot of pounding of the program. Stretch, what is this time of the year mean to you?
I agree with you. 2 days, always say it, it's not a sprint, it's a bit of a marathon. You got to kind of plan ahead. Just to thank everybody for tuning in. There is so many shows out there, so much information. Hopefully we can give you some information that helps you pick some winners and go from there. The last few years, our bets have been pretty good, a bit of success last year.
Last year, mine stink.
My success was there.
Mine was okay, but no big payouts.
No, but the year before you did have the big payouts.
Oh, yeah, baby.
And that's what it's all about. You have to adjust your handicapping for the breeders, because if you think you're going to pick all the winners, I don't think you are going to. Sorry to do that to you, Kirt. But
it's not too hard to burst my bubble on Breeders' Cup time with 14 horse fields and horses coming from everywhere.
Absolutely, and be prepared to adjust. The breeders start today, or the Friday card. It's race 6. You're going to get to see 5 races earlier, and go from there, and just see how the track is playing. They had the meet. They've taken the week off and started up. Churchill ran a couple days this week. Kirt, anything to add to that?
Well, the last time they were at Keeneland, I had been taking a lot of closers. And then I see Nick's Go and Gamine absolutely rattled down there. Nick's Go 108 easily went wire to wire, and Gamine went down in 107 and change and easily wired going 7 furlongs. And that was disheartening after I seen the first day. Everything that was loose on the front end absolutely carried that speed. So my handicapping this year has gone back to them maybe shaving the track like they did back in 2020. So if the speed is doing well, I think I might have a good weekend.
Yeah, and that's something to remember. We're normally we'll do it right before the races. We're doing it a day early, so you've got to adjust. Like last year, neither one of us could have picked the one winner that came off the also eligible. So that's why I didn't pick that winner, because we didn't know the horse was in. Kirt, weather report?
Well, Stretch, I think you've always wanted to be a weatherman, so I'm going to throw it over to you. What's it going to be like?
All right, we've got sunny and 23 Celsius, 73 degrees Fahrenheit in there. This is pretty good. It's the starting of the day. Maybe that's from last year. I've got I'm the sun, as always, with money in my hands, and I guess because we're starting the meet, or starting the Breeders' Cup, we both have a lot of money to.
Oh, my account's full right now. Hopefully it's still full come Sunday or Saturday night after the last race runs. Okay, Stretch, why don't we head right into it? We're going to kick things off on the Friday night card. It's the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. They're going to go 5.5 furlongs. Last year's winner, Twilight Gleaming, was 5-1 in there. Who do you like?
All right, yeah, this is only been run 5 times. This is the 5th running. There's a lot of unknowns in here. You've really got to figure it out. I'm not going to go with the favorite in here just because of so many unknowns. Today, you're going to have a few more unknowns because of the 2-year-olds. So that's something to watch for. Field of 12. You've got to expect some troubled trips. Let's hope mine isn't. With a lot of early pace, too. So I'm going to start on the 3. Lots of good things. First of all, 3 or 4 Lifetime has won at this distance at the track. So that's a huge thing. Watch the replay. Very impressive for me, that turn of foot. And if we can avoid some trouble, should be right in the mix, at least flying late. And at 12-1, I think we may only get 10 or 9-1. I think this horse looks too good at 12-1 for me. Then I'm kind of searching for some other angles, and we've used this over the past. Horses cutting back. I went to the 7. Went the mile last time. You can Clearly see the horse doesn't like to go the distance. Was the big favorite. Give that an excuse. Just doesn't like that the distance. They tried to rate, which I do like. I think could sit just behind the pace, make the early move, and kind of take over. That stamina is really going to help. And then we'll go to the 2. I did my picks last night. Got the workout report. I will leave the horse in third. Just take note, the works have not been that great on there. So the horse clearly has talent, was scratched on October 9th. So that worries me a little bit, but maybe it was just not good in the morning that day, and you could go from there. 4-1, you might need a little bit more. I like the 3-7-2. Careful on the 2, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we ended up on the same horse, Private Creed. Private Creed has run 2 big races in the last 2, and that's when they added blinkers. I love equipment changes and horses responding to them, because I've watched horses over the years start off to be average horses. Then they add even just something simple like a tongue tie, and the horse becomes an absolute monster. I think Private Creed is doing that and is headed in the right direction. The buyer numbers are increasing with every start. As Stretch said, there is a lot of speed in here. I see out of the 12 horses, at least 6 of them to provide early speed to the race. So I want someone in contention to collar those leaders with an 1/8 of a mile to go. And that's why I also went to Private Creed. I also like the 5 horse in here, Mischief Magic. This horse ran a great race 2 outs ago, drew off to win by 2, and everything was done right in that race. Watch the replay on the next one. I don't know what happened inside the about last quarter mile, but this horse looked like he was jumping shadows. The rider couldn't ride it out, so it ended up being a little bit of a wild ride down the stretch. I'm expecting Mischief Magic to be another stalker in here. And if it runs back to that second last race, I think is going to have a real big showing. And I do like number 2, Love Reigns. If you are going to take a speed horse, you usually want to be on the inside. You don't want to get hung out to dry on that turn. And then you get a jump on him at the head of the lane. I think that's what Love Reigns will do. Broke the maiden very impressively, then lost to the 4 horse Dramatized, as the horse got a little short, had some trouble in there, and then came back with a really nice win, coming just off the pace. And that's what I like. Change that running style. So I think this horse will run a lot better. Wesley Ward, a lot of success. So that's why I'm going to give you 3, 5, and 2. Now we're going to carry on to race number 7. Now it's the Juvenile Fillies. They're going to go 1.16 miles on the dirt. Echo Zulu took this race last year, was the big favorite at 4-5. I don't see a big monster favorite in here this time around, but Stretch, who do you got?
All right. I find this race race shape very difficult to figure out. I think it's an absolute wide open race. I'm going to go going with the 10 just because has been the mile, able to come off the pace. I had notes on this horse in the first start, Lifetime. It was highly touted, huge works before that race, and ran flat. So it just seems that this horse has started to figure it out. For me, it's not a win bet, but a must use if you're using in sequence for sure. And then you're going to see all day. There's some that I have strong opinions, and some races not so much. Got a spread. That's what this is here. We'll go to the 7. Chomp Chomp made a nice move last.
Chomp Chomp.
Chomp Chomp.
Okay.
Chop. What a
Chop,
chop.
chop,
Let's go.
chomp.
It's one of the ones.
There we go.
I knew I should have just said the 7
horse.
The 7 horse. Stretch has picked the 7 horse. Yes. Well, no more names the rest of the day. Yeah, I think that I really like this horse. Made the nice middle move last time, and the 5 horse got loose on the rail and kept going. And I felt the horse was starting to hang on. Huge numbers for sure on the 5 early. Maybe it gets a breather, but I think there is just enough speed for the 7 to get up late. Has to be closer. It's hard to pass so many horses in a compact or in such a big field. You need a trip when you're a closer. And then the last one, I'll go to the 2 horse. Huge first start, and then came back and ran a nice second. I would have liked to see maybe a 3rd start. If it had a 3rd start, I'd probably have this a little bit higher. Should get a really good a break and sit just off. got to improve. 10-1, I think, is the fair price. 2 back at a really good workout, a B+ workout, and then a maintenance. So wide open race, 10-7, 10-7-2.
Yeah, Stretch, I see this pretty wide open too. I do respect Chocolate Gelato, who did beat my top selection. That's number 13, Leave No Trace. But Chocolate Gelato in that race, it was on the slop. And just for people that don't know, I was looking at that BAQ and going, what the heck track is that? I haven't seen that before. Well, it's Belmont at Aqueduct, which I figured out pretty quick after I watched my first replay. But it makes sense after that, as they aren't running at Belmont right now. They moved over. But Leave No Trace was hemmed on the inside on that swampy racetrack and didn't seem like the horse really liked to be there. All the horses were about 4 off the rail that day. And this horse was hemmed in, did get out late, but Chocolate Gelato had all the late run going and ended up coasting to victory. But in the previous start, this horse ran absolutely dynamite behind the speed, which I think is the 2, 5, and 9 in here. And that stalking type of trip, I think, is going to be really valuable. If it shows that same race as 2 outs ago, I think we're going to get great odds in here. And Stretch just told me that was one of the good workouts. Had a couple B+ workouts in there. So that makes my pick a little bit stronger. And I'm just throwing out that sloppy race, saying this horse is undefeated going in, same running style. I think the horse is a big shot at a great price. Also on the inside, I do like Wonder Wheel. This horse has been running really good, can go to the front, sit just off it, do pretty well whatever it wants. 4 lifetime starts, 3 wins, and the only blemish was a second place finish, and that was to number 13, Leave No Trace. This is a very talented filly, and I think she's going to be well placed in the race. And I do like number 7, Chop Chop. This horse has come with a flurry, especially in that last race. Wow, any farther, this horse would have won easy. But I just love that big late move that it made, improving with every start. So that's why I'm going to give you 13, 5, and 7. Now we're going to carry on to race number 8. It's the Juvenile Fillies Turf. They're going to go 1 mile. Last year's winner, Pisa Blanca, at 10-1. I think this could be another big price in here.
Yeah, we're not really even close on our selections, but that's understand.
That's why I think there's going to be a big price.
I completely agree with you. This is an absolute wide open race. Again, unfortunately, not strong opinions. And when you're looking, one thing on picking long shots or looking for value, you got to understand if the horse is, just because the horse is 25-1, you think you're picking a long shot, that proper odds could be 50-1. So understand that what the odds should be on a horse. Maybe if there's a morning line of 10-1 and going off at 25-1, there's your value. So understand when you're betting on a horse or the odds, see what are the chances that the horse can how often it can win based on the odds, basically. So I'm going to land on the 4. I think the 4 is going to sit in a great spot and basically just won't have to chase lone speed in here. Sit 5th or 6th. And then have a late close and kind of a morning line 5-1, I think, is the fair price. So that's my top selection. Last time the 5, I'll go 5 as my next one, was the lone speed. I don't think the horse is going to be the lone speed. I think the horse can sit just off. The fractions were just so slow. So again, only 2 starts, room for improvement. I think can sit just off. It's going to have to, the stamina might be a bit of a question. Got to use that one. And let's find a long shot in here, and that's the 3, Last Call. Kind of a stat there. There's usually a Woodbine horse at Breeders' Cup coming that's huge odds. And so this is my huge odd Woodbine horse. Has a nice final kick. Could be in their money. For me, I can't leave her out. Morning line 20-1. Maybe in the tries or super 4-5-3.
Yeah, Stretch, I had a lot of trouble with this race trying to pick out a winner. I looked at number 10, Meditate, watched the film on this one. This is a horse that just tries every single time, doesn't need the lead, can go to the front, can sit just off it, but is always prominent in being near the early lead. And I like that coming out of those grade 1s in Great Britain and Ireland. This horse, 6 starts, 4 wins, 2 seconds. The Euros, they don't do well in the 2-year-old categories, But what I like about this horse is all those starts under the belt. I think the experience means everything. And this horse has made every race almost a winning one with the 4 wins and 2 seconds. So I think this one is going to have a good shot in here. I also like the 13 Zygira. Wow, what a race last time out. This horse was battling. It was almost 9-1 on the board. The speed was out there in Wonder Wheel. Chop Chop was the late closer with Raging Sea. And this horse was wedged right in between an 1/8 of a mile to go. They were 4 across the track. And then all of a sudden the trouble came, got spit out the back door, and ran 4th beaten 3. This horse would have been close at the wire. I'm not saying it would have been a winner, but it would have been a lot closer there. And I just like that running style again, where I don't think there is a pile of pace in here. So pace, I think, is going to keep on going at the mile distance. So Zygira, another great long shot for me. And I do like Stretch's horse. Number 4, Free Look. A win, a second, and a third last time out. As Stretch said, chased the speed around there, couldn't catch it, but still was easily second best in there. I expect Free Look to run that same kind of race just in behind my other 2 that do have speed in the race. So I'm going to give you 10, 13, and 4. Now we're going to carry on to race number 9. It's the Juvenile, the Grade 1 mile and a 16th. Corniche was the winner last year at 3-2. Stretch. Who do you like?
Yeah, this is going to be the big favorite on the day for sure. I think he's going to be very tough to beat. Basically, there's a few other horses that can go with him, but I think if the trainers decide to do that, they probably aren't around at the end. So do they really want to do that? And if they sit back, then the race is over, because I think Cave Rock just basically goes right to the lead, shuts it down, and they kind of keep going from there.
I like how you say going with them. When you look at Cave Rock's Del Mar start, the half, 43-3. I haven't seen something that fast in a long time. So I'm saying that Cave Rock gets the lead easy. It's just whether it's a pressured lead or, like you say, they say, okay, don't go after him, and then he gets some soft fractions, and then he wins by millions, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the other thing, too, is that last race that he won wasn't his top lifetime race. So kind of, I won't say regressed, but basically, I think the top race is coming today. And if that's the case, absolutely the race is over. Yes, there's others that can improve, but they really have to improve, or the 3 kind of have to regress. And I'm going to go to the 4. I think this horse is an absolute perfect running style for this race, because they're not going to go after Cave Rock. Basically, let the others kind of do that, and then close late. Sure, if there's is huge pressure, maybe that's how the Cave Rock could get beat. For me, this is a real good place bet. These are the type of horses I like to bet the place on the 4, because probably going to run second, and if something crazy happens, maybe the 3 runs out, and you get an even better place price. So take note to that. The horse I am going to mention as well is my 3rd selection. Like the horse even more, is the 6. Yes, the top figures were in the slop last time. That's a little, you're kind of a bit of a guess there. But if runs back to that last race, watch out. The other thing to add is checking the workout report, both B+ workouts. So maybe it wasn't a fluke. Maybe it was basically just trying to, just figured it all out. Again, going to sit off, make a late move, come from there, see what you got. I got it straight 3, 4, 6.
Yeah, Stretch, I'm with you. Cave Rock to the front, catch me if you can. And I think they're going to have a real tough time catching Cave Rock. He looks one of these special horses. I didn't take a lot of horses from California on the Breeders' Cup weekend, but this is one that's just looked like an absolute standout. Won his races real easy, is the predominant speed of the race. I do see a couple others with a little bit of early speed, but not Cave Rock's kind of speed. So I expect him to wire the field, but I'm with you on Forte. What a race last time out. Loggins had every pole a winning one, but Forte came rallying from the back and ended up nailing Loggins at the wire and had a really nice gallop out after. I like horses that take those loose speed horses and they're able to get them. So this is a horse that's now won 2 in a row. The only defeat was going 6 furlongs. I think this horse likes going a rut of ground. So those early races, I'm not putting too much into them. with that defeat second time out. But I think this horse, the farther they go, the better the horse gets. But unfortunately, runs into Cave Rock, so I put it second best. And my third choice is Verifying. Has a really good running style in here. As I think Cave Rock will be controlling the fractions, I need a horse that will be sitting close in there. And Verifying's first race, wire to wire, next time out, stalked, pounced, got the lead, and then they ran on by and got the win with Blazing Sevens. But I think Verifying's running style is going to make it a big threat in here for second or third money. So I'm going to give you 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to carry on to race number 10, the final race on Friday night. It's the Juvenile Turf. They're going to go 1 mile. Last year's winner, Modern Games. Well, there was no betting lines on it because it was one of the wildest things I've seen in Breeders' Cup. The horse is scratched. No, it's going to run. Okay, it's going to run, but you can't bet on it. Wasn't that weird to you, Stretch?
Oh, and I had that horse.
And I know you loved Modern Games.
I know.
There.
I'm still getting over it. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so race 10. Yeah, it's again a wide open race. You can see on our selections. There's a couple favorites, or the 4 and the 1 I do like quite a bit, but I want to take full credit on this one in case it comes in at 20 to 1. So basically, I like the Euros for sure. They're hard to figure out, but you've got to watch the replay. Why don't you do picks first there, Kirt?
Yeah, for sure. I went to number 6, and the winner is this horse. Really has been getting good. What I like about it, 2 for 2 at Keeneland. Home field advantage is always a big player when it comes to these races. Was a winner by 2 last time out. There was speed. There's 5 speed horses in here. So I had to go to a closer, and I like that the horses' numbers are getting better each and every time. Flavian Pratt, he had 2 horses to choose from in here, the 6 and the 8 horse. He ended up going to the 8, but I think I like the 6 better. And you're going, why would he switch horses? Well, I was an agent, and sometimes you ride more for the other trainer, so you'll go to that horse no matter what, if they're the one that is paying the bills. So that's why I think he's on Chad Brown's horse, Catalano. But this horse just looks so good in that replay, just blowing on by under wraps to win by 2. It's another one that I think has flourished now that they've gone around 2 turns, sat a little bit too close in the previous start, made the move, and then kind of had nothing left at the end. But last time out, moved back in the field and came with a flurry. That's what I want to see in this race. So I did go to the 6, and the winner is with the 8. I'm Very Busy. The other one that Pratt is riding. 2 starts, both of them big rallies from off the pace. Was an easy winner first time out. Came back with a great second place finish. But Major Dude was sitting just off the pace and was able to get there. I think with the pace so hot today, I'm Very Busy is going to have a big chance. And I also like for third, number 4, Silver Knot. This one, Charles Appleby, very accomplished in the Breeders' Cup races. This horse has run very well in the last 3 starts. The only thing I don't like to make it a top play is that it tested very limited fields, 2 6-horse fields, a 3-horse field, and won the 6-horse field, lost in the 3. Very interesting, but those races were all really good races, except for the 3rd place finish where they got away from them. So I'm going to give you a Silver Knot for third, 6, 8, and 4.
All right, I'm ready for my big long shot to finish
All
it
right.
off. Here we go. This is you've got to watch the replays. Both of us have been mentioning about the replays. If you don't watch the different replays for all the various horses, you're behind the 8 ball when you start, especially, the European ones. Normally you see horses run at all the same track when you're betting on a certain track. Well, they're all coming to this track. If you watch this replay, I think it's one of the worst efforts I've seen on a horse out there, on the jockey.
It's almost like Stretch bet it last time.
I know I did. Yeah, that's fair. But that's the best part. I didn't bet it, and I'm glad I didn't, because there might have been a text message. So anyway, a slow start squeeze. That's certainly not the jockey's fault. The horse then trailed and then started to make a nice even move with no effort by the jockey, and then basically got in a little more trouble in the stretch. Gets out a little bit. Again, horse could have made some run. No effort there. and then 2 back, the closing move at Kentucky Downs, I believe, made a nice move on the outside and looks so good. I think if this horse gets a clean trip, the horse is going to be right there. Morning line 20-1. That last race is even better than it looks okay. It's almost a workout, and it's like you didn't want to win. 4, basically I'm using some angles on the Euros, and that's Charles Appleby. He just wins these type of races. He brings in another good one. I do agree with Kirt. Small fields, I'm not a big fan of that, but he knows where to spot these ones. And then we'll go to the 1. Basically, if it doesn't get trapped on the rail, should be there. Just kind of using the Euros because they do so well in here. The U.S. horses, I think they're on the fringes, so I'm going to go 11-4-1.
Okay, Stretch, race number 6. What is your bet?
Okay, we're going to start off smooth. I know you hit trying for the home run early. I'm just going to start 10 win on 3, 20 place on 3. I like the odds. I don't want to miss out on a 12-1 shot.
Yeah, I'm warming up too, but I'm going pick 5 hunting right off the hop. I'm going to take 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 5, 7, 13, the 10 and 13, key the 3, and end off with 6 and 8. That'll cost you $48. Okay, Stretch, on to race number 7. What do you got in here?
All right, now I've kicked it in on the pick 4, all the Breeders' Cup races. So we're going to take a bunch here. 2, 5, 7, 8, 10, 14. I probably should add Kirt's 13. We'll leave it at that, but you may at home want to add that horse. Then the 3, 4, 5, keying the 3, and then taking 1, 4, 11 in the last. 54, it's a few dollars extra if you want to add Kirt.
Yeah, Stretch, this is one of my stronger long shot plays. I'm going 10 win place on number 13, Leave No Trace. Okay, Stretch, on to race number 8. What are your bets in here?
Okay, I don't really have a huge strong opinion, but I do like 3 horses, and if you followed along on ASD Live, this is one of my bets I like to make. $3 exacta box, 3, 4, and 5.
And myself, I'm going after the late pick 3. And as you can tell, I added a horse in the middle off of Cave Rock. I added Forte, but I'm taking 4, 10, 12, 13, taking the 3 and 4, rounding it out with a bunch, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 11, which will cost $40. Okay, Stretch, on to race number 9. What are your bets in here?
Okay, this is the key on the day, and we're going to I'm not at your level at the $10 tri-wheel, just a $5 tri-wheel, but I'm adding an extra horse. 3 with 4, 6, 10 with 4, 6, 10.
See, Stretch, I thought this would have been a great place to bet the exactor, but we've seen over the summer many times the exactor, you might get 6 for $1, but then the try comes up at 26. That's why instead of betting the exactor, I'm going after the triactor. I'm betting a $10 one, 3 with 4 with 5, 6, 10. That'll cost 30. A $1 one, only $3. Race number 10, Stretch. What are your bets?
All right, here we go. $3 exacta box, 1, 4, and 11. You may want to put a few dollars across the board on that 20-1 shot on the 11, but there's the one I'll post. $18 or $1. It's $6, and I see you've included my 11.
I definitely have in there. I loaded up on the back end. I like both horses. As I said, that Flavien Prat did ride in the last one. He chose the 8, but I like the 6 better, so why not take them both? I took 6, 8, 6, 8 with 1, 4, and 1, 4, 7, 10, 11. That'll cost $10 for that one. And then I'm doing the wedge, putting it in the middle. I'm taking the 6, 8 with 1, 4, 7, 10, 11 with 6, 8 for a total of $20. All right, and that wraps up Friday evening of the Breeders' Cup action. Good luck with all your wagers, and may the racing gods be with you.